Hi, today I want to talk about sugar, blood sugar, and energy. I will explain why your blood sugar goes up and down, why that can take on a roller coaster like pattern, how that will affect your energy and mood, and how you can create more balance. I'm Evelyn, and I'm a certified functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner. I live in the Findhorn community in the northeast of Scotland, and I love educating people with down-to-earth information about health and their gut. Please give this video a like and consider subscribing. I post a new short educational video every other week, and I'd love to have you as a viewer. My next video will be about sleep, so watch this space. And now about sugar and blood sugar. So blood glucose, just the basics. What is that? So you eat carbohydrates, then you break them down, and one of the parts they break down into is glucose. Glucose then enters your bloodstream, and through that goes into your cells. Too much glucose in your bloodstream is not good, and too little is not good either. You find carbohydrates everywhere. So people who say they are doing no carb, I don't think that's actually possible, except if they don't eat any dairy or plants or grains or anything. So you find carbohydrates in dairy, that is the milk sugar, in fruit, mainly fruit sugar, in grains, in legumes, vegetables, all the vegetables. Some vegetables have more carbohydrates than others, like kale or lettuce don't have a lot, but then potatoes or sweet potatoes or carrots have a bit more. And then, of course, all the products you can buy in the shop, like the cakes, biscuits, sweets, chocolate, everything that has sugar or refined flour or any form of flour in it. As you can already see, like not all carbs are bad. We do need carbohydrates for energy. Glucose is the main energy source for all your cells and for the brain. And glucose is easy to use for the body. You can also use like protein or fat as a fuel, but glucose is quicker and easier. Most of the vegetables are carbohydrates, and you do want to eat a good variety of plants and vegetables and fruits. And then many carbs, and especially the fibers in the carbohydrates, feed the gut bacteria, and that creates a good varied microbiome, which you need to have a balanced gut microbiome. Some people do okay on a lower carbohydrate or a very low carbohydrate diet, and some are not. So be careful with, you can try out to go lower carbohydrate, but if you might feel like really fatigued and unwell if you go too low. So I always talk about just like the simple carbohydrates and the more complex carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are your refined products like the white sugar, the refined grains, so the white flour, where the bran and the fat and all the nutrients have been stripped away. So these include the white bread, pizzas, cakes, white rice, many cereals as well. And the simpler the carbohydrate, the easier it is for the body to break it down and make it into glucose, and the easier it is for the body to absorb it in the bloodstream. But when they're very simple and easy to absorb, they also go into the bloodstream very quickly, which can give a sort of a spike. And we'll come back to that in one of the next slides. Then there's the complex carbohydrates. That's your whole food. So that's your peas and beans, your whole grains, and your vegetables. Because they also have the fiber and all the other nutrients, they go into your bloodstream much more gently, so they don't give you such a spike or peak. And still you've been used as energy. And also then you have the added benefit of the fiber that helps your microbiome. So in organizing your blood sugar balance, there are many hormones, but two are the main ones. One is insulin. And insulin is like a key that opens the cells so they can receive the glucose. So when your blood glucose goes up, so the glucose goes into your bloodstream, the insulin is made by the pancreas and squirted into the bloodstream as well. That both go to the cells. The insulin opens the cells, the glucose goes in, and that takes it out of the bloodstream, so the glucose level in the blood goes down. The other hormone that works with the balance is cortisol. Cortisol is basically your stress hormone, and it helps you to make glucose available when glucose is low. Originally, that was meant to make it easy for you to run away from a tiger when you're stressed. So when your blood sugar goes too low, cortisol comes into action and frees up glucose, or a form of stored glucose, from your muscles and your liver. But too much, if cortisol has to come into action too much, of course that is stressful, and it is also it causes inflammation. And also, if you have insulin too much, that has some implications as well. And one of them is like there's a lot of excess fat storage. So here you can see the rise and fall of blood sugar. When it's normal, it stays within certain levels. So you would start in the morning, your blood sugar would be low because you haven't been eating for a while. And then you eat something, let's say you eat something with carbohydrates, but not the simple carbohydrates. So it goes up gently. And then when it's high, your body makes the insulin, but then it goes down again. And when it's lower, you get hungry, you eat something, and then it goes up again. And then the insulin comes in action again. So but it's a gradual process. There's no like excess things happening. And so it's normal that your blood sugar goes up and down, because it's in the blood, and then it goes into cells. The levels are changing all the time. It can also happen, like say in the morning you eat something with a lot of carbohydrates. Let's say you eat a sugary cereal, and you have a glass of orange juice with it. That's quite a lot of sugar that is quickly available. So it goes up, it goes up really fast. And then the pancreas has to make a lot of insulin. And because it's going so fast, there's a bit of a panicky reaction. So it just squirts out like a lot of insulin. And then that makes your blood sugar levels go down very quickly. So before you know it, you're low in blood glucose. And you'll notice that when you get like cravings that you can't really reason away. So your body tells you have to eat something. You can also feel very fatigued, feel cranky, hangry, irritated, sweaty, shaky, and you really need to eat something, and preferably you want to eat something with a lot of simple carbohydrates so that it can go up again. But if you do, then you go up again quickly again, and then you have to make a lot of insulin again, etc. So you get into that roller coaster kind of pattern, which is an unhealthy pattern, and is one of the reasons behind chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is behind a lot of our, more chronic illnesses. So what to do not to have this happen? The main thing I teach my clients is that you want to slow down that glucose getting into the bloodstream. The one way to do is to eat some fat, fiber. Make sure you have some fat, fiber, and protein with every meal and every snack. So what does that look like? I always give an example of an apple. So an apple is carbohydrates mainly and some fiber. So the fiber is okay, but it doesn't have any fat and protein. So you can eat an apple, but you have some nuts with it because nuts give some fat and some protein. But that's just an example, but that's a way to look at all your meals. And I'll probably be teaching more about how you can do this in a new talk. It's an interesting, and it works really well. Another thing to do is to eat a small snack mid-morning and afternoon if necessary, especially if you know your blood glucose goes down at a certain time of day always. Then it's a good idea to make sure that before that happens, you eat something small. Of course, in general, eat less carbs and especially less simple carbs, and go for the brown products, so the whole grains, the brown rice, the brown pasta, etc. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is how important it is to read labels. So I took a picture here of coconut macaroons. They are like a biscuit type of thing that is actually in the health food shop, and it is it's also gluten-free, so a lot of people think it's a healthier option. And when you read labels, you'll also always see this: carbohydrates and off-which sugars. So it's the off-which sugars that I'm interested in, and here it says per 100 gram, but also per macaroon, so per serving. And in this case, you see it's 16 grams in a macaroon. Now, 4 grams is 1 sugar cube. So in 1 macaroon, there is 4 sugar cubes. So that's quite a lot. It's very good to check this, even products where you think they don't have sugar. Just have a look at your labels and learn how much sugar is in there. And also you can see then how much fiber and protein is in there, which is, it has a good amount of fiber, but not a lot of protein. Okay, that was my talk for today. If you want to know more about me, I have a very lively Facebook group. It's called Down to Earth Functional Nutrition. I do these talks on Zoom. If you want, let me look me up on YouTube. There will be recordings, and on my website you will also feel a place where you can sign up to receive the Zoom links. I do some group programs as well. Also check out my website at evelynrodenburg.co.uk. And I would love to also talk to you if you're interested in working with me on a one-to-one basis. And I always offer a free exploratory call of about 30 minutes. So I would be happy to see you there. And that's me for now. See you next time. Bye.